hope.
So I got a question for you guys in direct regards to this, right? Say this happens, or say it doesn't happen. Say we're in the fucking same world that we're in right now. Should a sitting president be allowed to not answer a question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Because the reporter is going to ask tactical questions that should not be answered. As a public, we should not know what the strategic plan is sometimes.
I agree 100%
So
on that.
what
But if
I-
they're asking a question like about fucking COVID,
So yes, I think you should be able to not answer a question. And the reason being is that we exist in a soundbite society. And they are going
100%.
to ask you a question
looking for something.
looking to try and pull a soundbite off you.
Yeah.
And I think you should be able to go. And honestly, the answer should be if you want to rephrase that question where everything's within context,
Yeah.
I will give you an answer.
Oh, okay, so what if it's a legitimate question?
And you just don't want to answer?
Yeah.
Then, yeah, sure. Anybody should be able to do
Yeah.
that.
I don't know. I reserve the right to not answer a question if somebody asks me something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I think a lot of it depends on the context too.
Yeah.
Like if you're
Like if we go into an interview and they're like, how much money did you make last year as CEO of whatever? Like, no, I'm not answering that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's certain
Okay,
questions,
but
right?
so for
Well,
instance,
but the answer to that is I don't see how answering that question has any bearing on the
Right.
situation.
okay, so let me give you an example, right? So Russia invades Ukraine. China fucking sends a couple jets to fly over fucking Taiwan. And the current sitting president gets asked about China.
I actually respected his answer on that.
That he just I'm not talking about
Yeah,
that right
because they might have been right in the middle of, he didn't want to fuck up what he had going with China or what, you know what I mean? There may have been a good reason he didn't
now. I
answer
don't
that.
believe that.
that is given the circumstances, I agree with you.
Totally agree with you, but I do agree with you on the idea of. But a lot of it, I think, boils down to the instant gratification society that we live in, and people don't understand that geopolitics. So we're talking about global
Yeah.
Yeah.
political engines. Hell, our national political engine. Nothing in politics moves quickly.
Yeah.
So China does flyovers over Taiwan, which is hilarious because when the Ukrainian thing happened, I actually looked at my wife and I was like, fucking
This is
China's
it. This is
licking
it.
its chops. They're looking at Taiwan right now. And she was like, no. And I was like, China views Taiwan as a lost province. I was like, wait for it. And then literally like 6 hours later, she texted me. She was like, China's flying over Taiwan. I was like, yeah.
Fucking told you.
They're like, so, but the political engine moves so fucking slow that it was the appropriate answer.
Yeah. I agree.
It was the appropriate answer. If you want an example of how slow it actually moves, that was like record speed with the whole like, don't fuck around. And then he invaded, and then the UN finally shut off SWIFT banking and all that kind of stuff. And now he's like, okay, we'll talk. Well, they shut the economy off. Now all of a sudden he wants to talk. And it took, 4 days or something like that? 4 days for geopolitical action to happen is insanely fast. We all wore the uniform. You ever seen anything happen that quick? On a large scale?